We would invite all who care to join us in the recitation of the Lord's Prayer, followed by a moment of silence. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. It is now 7 o'clock. Shelby City Council meeting is called to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Seated, please. Roll call, please. Mr. Crum.
Mr. Robb.
Here.
Mr. Roberts. Here. Mr. Cutler. Here. Mr. Martin.
Here.
Mr. McLaughlin. Here.
I will now entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of the journal from September 3rd, 2024.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion by Mr. Roberts and a second by Mr. Martin to dispense with the reading of the journal from September 3rd, 2024. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin.
Yay.
Mr. McLaughlin.
Yay.
Mr. Robb.
Yay.
Mr. Roberts. Mr. Cutler.
Yay. That motion passes. And now come time for the public comment. If anyone has any public comment to make to council, come to the podium, state name and address, and your comments to council. I may just mention that we do have Mr. Sam Foley here this evening from Richland Soil and Water Conservation District to receive a proclamation, and he will be making a few comments upon reception of that proclamation. Any other public comment? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move forward to reports from standing and special committees. Finance and Personnel Committee, Councilman Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. First, we'll start with the combined financial statement. We have in our cash balance in the general fund at 2.1 million. The entire treasury is sitting at 15.754 million. And so we're still moving to the cash investment reconciliation. We're still getting close to closing all of our U.S. bank assets. So you'll start to see that dwindle there. And then on the final page, you can see that we've had a pretty good month when it comes to income tax, to the point that our August totals for this year at 3.964 million surpasses last year's September totals. So we're fairly, call it, less than cautiously optimistic, I guess. Not cautiously optimistic, but a little less than cautiously optimistic that we're going to be well surpassing our $5 million projection. To the front page again, utilities. Let's touch on those really briefly. In short, all the utilities over the 400, 500, or 600 fund saw gains in the year-to-date cash, so we're going in a positive direction in all three of those. We did take a little bit of a hit in hospitalization. Those tend to be the things that we focus on. And so everybody can look over that. If you have questions, of course, you can ask myself and Mr. Crum. Personnel, we had 2 resignations in Utilities Department, Scott Gunder on August 1st and Michael Garza on August 2nd. We're going to be interviewing, or I guess now we interviewed 2 candidates for the floater position in our fire department, and negotiations are ongoing with the IBOE, which is Unit A, which is the utilities, and then IAFF, firefighters. So that's the report from the personnel. Barring any questions, Mayor, I move that the combined financial statement and cash investment reconciliation statement for dated August 31st, 2024 be received, placed on file, and posted to the city website.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Martin, a second by Mr. Roberts, that the combined financial statement and cash investment reconciliation statement both dated August 31st, 2024 be received, placed on file, and posted to the city website. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin.
Yay.
Mr. Walker.
Yay.
Mr. Rob.
Yay.
Mr. Roberts. Mr. Cutler.
Yay.
That motion passes. Are there any comments or questions in regards to the report in total? All right. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Okay, move on then to Utilities and Streets Committee, Councilman McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mayor. The Utility and Streets Committee met September 13th. 5 topics to discuss. The first one, the Ohio Public Works Commission project submittal. Proposed project being submitted this year to Richland County Regional Planning Commission is the West State Street Consolidated Drive Storm Drainage Improvements. It's 840 feet of undersized storm sewer pipe. It's undersized 15-inch pipe on east side of Consolidated Drive. We're adding 30-inch pipe beside. The intersection floods during heavy rains, and the ditch on the West State Street retains water. Estimated project cost $453,000. Project funding mechanism, 50% grant, 50% match. The Ohio Public Works Commission grant request is for $226,000. With the other half, the city is coming out of the city's 402 sewer improvement fund. Project, we're hoping to start next July 1st, if the funds available. Legislation prepared for September 16th. It's resolution 45, 2024 tonight. Number 2, the reservoir levels. Reservoir 2, the capacity is 250 million gallons. Estimated level is 12 foot down from full capacity. The last time the source water was pumped into the reservoir was April. The reservoir was at full capacity at that time. The reservoir removed from service on July 1st. Reservoir 3 has a capacity of 388 million gallons. Estimated level 6 foot down from full capacity. Last time source water was pumped into the reservoir was middle of winter. The reservoir was at full capacity then. Source water, the Black Fork River is Reservoir 2, and Marsh Run is Reservoir 3. And at this point, stream levels are too low to allow pumping. It's not uncommon to have reservoir levels at the current levels during dry summer conditions. We're monitoring levels at this time. We're only asking residents to be conservative with their water usage. No restrictions are in order at this time. Topic 3, Technology Parkway, no parking signs. Traffic Commission met Thursday, August 20th. Commission discussed street parking on Technology Parkway. Commission voted and approved to install no parking signs on the east side of the street. Allows fire hydrants to be free of vehicle parking. Topic 4, ODOT's 2024-25 salt contract. Ohio Department of Transportation's annual road salt bid. Typically use 1,600 tons of road salt per year. We submitted 800 tons for the ODOT salt bid. ODOT road salt award contract pricing for 2024-2025 salt season. The ODOT bid award $53.60 a ton. The last topic is the AMP Contracted Resources Realignment Opportunity Update. For the AMP Project Power Sales Contract, members are given the opportunity to realign their contracted resource portfolio. Quarter 1 of 2024 realignment notification allowed members to solicit their request to the Energy Authority, a neutral third-party entity facilitating the realignment. The assignment opportunity was for AMP's Greenup, Meldal, contracted resources. Shelby submitted Greenup and Meldal's Hydro for assignment. The Greenup Hydro plant, 366 kilowatts, it's 1.1% share of the project, and the Meldal is also a hydro plant, 559 kilowatts, which is 0.53% share of the project. The debt service for Greenup is $1.2 million, and Meldal is $3.2 million. Two member communities were interested in Shelby's hydro resources. Reason for the interest in assigning the resources: there's 4 of them. It reduces outstanding debt by $4.5 million. 2, it allows flexibility of replacing the hydropower with less expensive power. 3, it allows another 1.5 megawatt of behind-the-meter solar to be installed. 4, ultimately another action to keep the electric rates stable here in town. Recent actions from AMP Legal Counsel: they provide the legal documents to Shelby for review. Our law director and utilities director are reviewing the documents. Assignment will require authorization from council after that. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman McLaughlin. Are there any comments or questions for Mr. McLaughlin in regard to this report? Mr. Martin.
Just a statement that I'm extremely happy that we assigned them. Look forward to it coming through.
Me as well, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Once again, Mr. McLaughlin. We move forward then to reports of city officials. The mayor's report. Oh, I'm sorry, safety committee. I was thinking. Sorry, Councilman Roberts. Councilman Roberts, safety committee.
Thank you, sir.
How can I ever forget?
Safety committee met on September 4th, and start off in fire news. 3 new volunteer firefighters began their FFI class on the 10th of September at Shelby. 2 nights a week will last through February. Moving forward with the additional, as Councilman Martin said, we're moving forward on hiring 1 additional position to our full-time ranks. First interview and the physical ability tests have been completed. Second interviews are on the 11th of September. Had 2 candidates interviewing. Initial contract negotiations have begun with the local firefighters union. Paint hydrants in Ward 2, and granted $4,220.98 from the Division of EMS for non-disposable EMS supplies. That's going to go to supply the new Unit 38 ambulance. Still waiting on title and insurance at that time for that unit. Begin removing lettering. King Graphics will be adding a red stripe to go with a green stripe on the 17th and 18th. We're doing as much as we can in-house to transition the ambulance. Just radio, traffic emitters, anything inside that they need. Some of the lettering we're going to do in-house also. Cold weather season, so Chief Thompson urges everyone to check their smoke detectors. If they're, at least replace the batteries. If it's over 10 years, get a new one. And so if you change your clocks, change your batteries. Moving on to the health department, we had 3 new rabies investigations and had 2 bats sent to Columbus for testing. Both of those were negative. 3 cockroach complaints in 2 months. And I asked the question, what is our health department's responsibility for those situations? And they have no real responsibility other than to notify the owner of the residents to, say, hey, you need to get this corrected. So we do kind of work with some of the neighbors to set them up with prevention so that stuff doesn't spread into their houses. So as far as responsibilities, we really don't have any. And 37 COVID cases in August, and that was up a little bit. Helpline and Shelby Health Department teamed up with Melissa Miller at Discovery Dental to give school kids toothbrushes and toothpaste. So we thank them over there for that. And just in police news a little bit, they're waiting on more cameras to complete the park project. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Roberts. Are there any comments or questions for Mr. Roberts in regard to his report? Thank you, sir. Now we move to the reports of city officials and the mayor's report. And I think I'll do the proclamation first so Mr. Foley can be on his way. So this is the proclamation, Stormwater Awareness Week proclamation, October 1st, 2024 through October 7th, 2024. And the proclamation reads, whereas urban stormwater runoff impacts water quality in the Black Fork watershed in the city of Shelby, Richland County, Ohio, and whereas population growth, residential and commercial development, and the resulting changes to the landscape will only increase stormwater quality and quantity concerns throughout Ohio, And whereas these impacts cannot be entirely avoided or eliminated, but can be minimized, and whereas it is currently recognized that control of stormwater quantity and quality is most effectively implemented when people and organizations understand the related causes and consequences of polluted stormwater runoff and flooding, and the actions they can take to control these. And whereas the need arises not only from the regulatory requirements of EPA general construction and municipal stormwater rules, but also from the recognition that citizens and local decision makers will benefit from a greater awareness of how the cumulative impacts of decisions at home, at work, and through local policies impact our water quality and stream corridors and flooding. And whereas the development and implementation of effective outcome-based stormwater education and outreach programs will meet the related federal stormwater pollution control requirements and those of the communities they serve, so that Ohio continues to be a great place to live and work and play. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Stephen L. Shea, Mayor of the City of Shelby, Ohio, encourage the citizens of Shelby to join the Richland Soil and Water Conservation District and communities across Ohio in recognizing Stormwater Awareness Week, October 1st through the 7th, 2024. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Shelby, Ohio, to be affixed this 16th day of September in the year of our Lord, 2024. And so, Mr. Foley, we're glad to join this effort of education and implementation. I'm glad that you're here tonight to receive this on behalf of Richland Soil and Water Conservation District.
Thank you. I'd just like to say a few words. Mayor Shag, I appreciate you taking and delivering the proclamation on behalf of the Richland Soil and Water Conservation District. We're proud to partner with the City of Shelby. As a citizen, I grew up in Shelby. I'm proud to be here. I'm happy to see the city, take the extra step to let the citizens know, this is an important thing. I thank you guys for your time, and with that,
All right. Thank you, sir. All right.
Thank you so much.
Come around again sometime.
I'm sure we'll see you around.
Okay.
Thanks, fellas.
Brief report, and then a few words after that. Since our last council meeting, I have been occupied with typical mayoral duties and delights. On August the 20th, we sat down with our firefighters representatives to begin, hang on a second, that's not the one I want. You may be spared from my other report, but I think I misplaced that one. Don't say it isn't so. Well, yeah, that's not what I want. So over the last, since that time, we have met, Joe and I met with the Regional Planning Commission Executive Committee over in Mansfield. We also had some get-togethers with some of our fellow workers here and discussing traffic matters and so forth, and just those typical duties. And I am so sorry that I forgot my notes, but you're not sorry, are you? All right. But I do want to say this. So, we all know last Friday what the incident that impacted our community, and our thoughts and prayers continue to be with the families and friends of the victims of last Friday's horrendous house explosion on Hook Road in Springfield Township. Multiple Richland County departments, fire departments, and law enforcement agencies rapidly responded to the scene. I want to join many others in recognizing the valiant efforts of those amazing first responders from across this part of the county and beyond. As you would expect, the Shelby Fire Department pulled resources together, both equipment and manpower, in an effort to join forces with many others in their rescue efforts. Now, I'd like to share with you an email I received this morning from Shelby Fire Chief Mike Thompson. Short paragraph, it reads, on Friday, Shelby Fire responded to the Hook Road incident with Springfield Township Fire. The scene was total devastation. Initially, we sent one tanker for a possible structure fire Eventually, an engine crew and manpower was sent. Shelby firefighters were in the basement digging out debris by hand in an attempt to locate the victims. I personally received a call from one of the Springfield officers in charge on how our personnel performed above and beyond the call of duty. And he listed the responders with Tanker 34, Colin Finnegan, Andrew Robinson, Engine 32, Sam Sauter, Eric Lindstrom, Calvin Redden, Steve Lovelace. Coming from home, responding, Brian Finnegan, Ian Abbott as a volunteer, Mike Colvin as a volunteer, Josh Wirtz as a volunteer, and Brian Knowlton as a volunteer. So I believe as Shelbyans, we have a right to be proud of and thankful for the outstanding members of the Shelby Fire Department. So if you see one of our firefighters, be sure to give them a word of commendation for how they responded, along with many, many others in our county, to this tragic event. And that is my abbreviated report, gentlemen. Are there any comments or questions from me? All right, let's move forward. Mr. Crum, Director of Finance.
Thank you, sir. Normal operations in my department. I would like to remind the citizens that third quarter estimates should be sent down to City Hall actually today. So if you haven't done that yet, you file quarterly estimates towards your taxes. Please do so as quickly as possible. And also a reminder, if you extended your 2023 returns, they are due October 15th. So you've got 1 month to find all of your documents. That serves my report.
Mr. Crum, are there any comments or questions from Mr. Crum in regard to his report? I'll move on to Mr. Eister, Director of Law.
Typical duties and delights in my office as well, Mr. Mayor. We have, to follow up with Mr. McLaughlin, Mr. Ensman and I have been communicating with AMP, numerous emails back and forth, clarifications, verbiage, language, etc. Not yet met with Mr. Ensman, we've been doing that remotely. Hope we'll have some of the next council meeting for you.
Thank you, Mr. Eister. Any comments or questions from Mr. Eister? All right, moving forward to Mr. Geis, Project Coordinator.
Thank you, Mayor. Really, our projects right now, paving is done with the exception of the straightening. Those contractors are kind of hard to nail down a date, so we don't have that, but it will be soon. They come in when they're in the area, do a bunch at one time, so that will be soon. And then Shelby Avenue water line project will be starting back up soon. They did not get their date, but that's all I have for those.
Thank you, Mr. Geis. Any comments or questions from Mr. Geis? We'll move forward then to new business. Is there any new business to be brought before council? Hearing none, move forward to unfinished business, future use of Main Street Fire Station. Chief Thompson and Mr. Geis and I will be doing a thorough tour of the firehouse this Wednesday. We did make a brief visit. Indeed, there is equipment on the east side primarily of the building. There are also some construction items from the Blackboard Commons that we have to find a place for. But we'll have a full report, and we'll also forward each one of you the engineer's report that was done years ago, so we can have a better discussion in the next council meeting. But just kind of dipping our toe in the water, but it's in process. All right. And there'll be pictures on that engineer's report. I think you find pictures worth 1,000 words. All right. Any further unfinished business? All right, let's move forward to legislation.
Ordinance number 21, 2024, enacting section 1296.18, minimum lot width requirement of the codified ordinances of the city of Shelby.
Move first reading.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Robertson, a second by Mr. Martin for the first reading of ordinance number 21, 2024. Discussion? Mr. Geis.
Thank you, Mayor. This is would be new to Shelby. It's done in a lot of other cities, but basically for residential, so if you have a double, normally like a lot of our doubles are owned by one person. They may live in half of it, rent out the other, or rent out both sides. What this would do is be the ability to two owners of the same building and so forth. So the different stipulations would be on there that they have to have their own separate electric, they have to have separate water, their own separate sewer, gas line, and all of that. And then there is an easement for each one of those owners on either side of that main wall, so that maintenance can be done on that. So, I don't know if you have any more questions of that. And then like commercial, so if you had a strip mall, they could potentially split off each one of those stores in a strip mall. So, we talked to Mrs. Griffin, she thought this would be wonderful as another tool in our toolbox for economic development, just to help out anything that they could have and be on that. So.
Does this change the setback for, like, how close the buildings have to be?
Which guys does not.
Does not,
Well, with the exception of the center line in the middle, yeah.
yeah.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yay.
Mr. Rob?
Yay.
Mr. Roberts?
Yay.
Mr. Cutler?
Yeah,
Ordinance number 21, 2024 passes its first reading.
Ordinance number 22, 2024, amending ordinance number 5, 2024, annual appropriations and declaring an emergency.
Move that the rule requiring the ordinance be read on 3 separate occasions be suspended.
second?
We have a motion by Mr. Martin, a second by Mr. Roberts, that the rule requiring that an ordinance be read on 3 separate occasions be suspended. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. McLaughlin? Mr. Rob?
Yay.
Mr. Roberts? Mr. Cutler?
Yay,
That motion to suspend passes.
Move for the passage of the ordinance.
second?
We have a motion by Mr. Martin, a second by Mr. Roberts for the passage of ordinance number 22, 2024. Discussion? Mr. Crown.
Caught napping up here. These are additions to line items and appropriations. Most of them are because the funds have a little more revenue than we had initially hoped, particularly the 230 fund, that's the park funds. We've gotten a lot of donations for playground equipment, which, by the way, is going to hopefully be installed on Friday. I think they're going to start. And so, because we've had so many donations, we can do a little more out there. So we're adding some funds to that. The 238, the DARE fund, we've received a lot of money in those settlements, those opioid settlements. And so I wanted to increase those line items to give our DARE officers some more use of those funds this year. Both the 101 transfer to capital improvement and then the 300 fund police 515 for equipment line. As hopefully income taxes come in a little higher, it gives us just a tad bit more money in the general fund. I'd like to move that over to the 300 fund because it's pretty sparse and the chief needs to equip these 3 new cruisers that we have. So that's getting broken up between the 703 and the 300 fund. So I'd like to add some line, a little bit of line item there for that. Other than that, it's just normal operations. Things are a little close and we have some extra funds. So.
Thank you. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yay.
Mr. Rob?
Yay.
Mr. Roberts?
Yeah.
Mr. Cutler?
Yay,
Ordinance number 22, 2024 passes.
Resolution number 43, 2024, accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Move the resolution taken and passed.
second?
We have a motion by Mr. Martin, a second by Mr. Roberts for the passage of resolution number 43, 2024. Discussion? Mr. Crum.
This is essentially just the final step in our tax revenue budget for next year. We've gone back and forth with the county. You know, we submit what we want to do, and then they send it back to us, and we approve that. And here we are. So this is just administrative. We do this every year. to make sure we're on the same page.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yay.
Mr. Rob?
Yay.
Mr. Roberts?
Yay.
Mr. Cutler?
Yay.
Resolution number 43, 2024 passes.
Resolution number 44, 2024, accepting by no donation real property and posthumously thanking James L. Swanger.
These resolutions taken and passed.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Robertson and a second by Mr. Martin for the passage of Resolution 44, 2024. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yay.
Mr. Rob?
Yay.
Mr. Roberts?
Yay.
Mr. Cutler?
Yay.
Resolution number 44, 2024 passes.
Resolution number 45, 2024, authorizing the mayor as Director of Public Service to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or Local Transportation Improvement Program, and to execute contracts as required for the City of Shelby, State Street, and Consolidated Drive Drainage Improvement Project.
These resolutions taken and passed.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Robertson and a second by Mr. Martin for the passage of Resolution number 45, 2024. Discussion? Mr. Geis.
I think Mr. McLaughlin pretty well explained it during his report. If there's any other questions I can answer. This is our annual Ohio Public Works Commission looking for a 50% grant this year. $453,500 total, so our grant ask would be the $226,750.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yay.
Mr. Rob?
Yay.
Mr. Roberts?
Yay.
Mr. Cutler?
Yay.
Resolution number 45, 2024 passes. We'll now come to miscellaneous business. Is there any miscellaneous business to be brought before council this evening? Mr. Martin.
Mayor, we council adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Martin and a second by Mr. McLaughlin for adjournment. Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yay.
Mr. Rob?
Yay.
Mr. Roberts? Yay. Mr. Cutler?
Yay.
The motion passes. We adjourn at 7:31. I did find my notes.